Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Pat from Classic Mixup. Today we're talking about a game called Receiver. It's $5 on Steam. I ended up picking it up in a humble bundle, but it's an interesting little game that might be worth checking out for some people. Essentially, it's a first-person shooter with some interesting gun handling mechanics. It's the kind of game that I think would lend itself a little better in VR, but it is still pretty interesting to work out on mouse and keyboard. Before I get into too much else, I want to talk about one thing that I had a little bit of an issue with when I first started playing. It gives you all the controls. You hit the question mark and it'll come up with all the controls that you need. But one issue that I had was the revolver was pretty straightforward, but all of the guns with magazines, it's not initially completely clear as to how you refill the magazine. Essentially, what you need to do is you eject the magazine with E. Then, in order to actually refill the mag, you need to hit tilde, which is to holster your weapon, and then you're able to tap Z in order to refill bullets into the magazine. So I just figured I would mention that right off the bat, just because that had me confused for a few minutes. With that being said, the basic concept for the game is you're in a procedurally generated world. You're looking around for ammo because ammo is pretty limited, and you're looking for these tapes that you're supposed to listen to. I was only able to get a couple of them because this game is actually a lot harder than it looked when I first looked at it. Basically, you're going to get one shot killed by all of the enemies, which are turrets and these little flying things that zap you. Meanwhile, they only get disabled if you hit their weak points, which means that if you miss any of your shots, you're probably going to end up dying pretty quickly. Overall, I think it's a pretty interesting game. It feels kind of cool. Before you go into any room, you make sure all your magazines are filled, make sure you have a bullet in the chamber, or else you're going to walk in and die immediately. So, again, it's a cheap game. I don't know if I would be willing to pay $5 for it, but it's definitely unique. If you can get it for maybe a couple bucks, or if you get it in a humble bundle, it's a small download. I definitely think it's worth checking out for a little bit and seeing what it's all about. So thank you to everyone for listening, and we will see you in the next video.